Beep TV One back at it with another video. This video right here is purpose of this video just to give you some type of history of where I was semi-raised from a kid, like born up until like 7, 8 years old before I moved to Motown. My mother was born and raised in Otter B. Wells. Grandma stayed in Otter B. Wells for 40 years, and I stayed right on the 4th floor. We was on the 4th floor at the top. They had high rises, they had mid rises, and they had low rises. So, you know, this would be like the mid. Check it out.
Ida B. Wells-Barnett, July 16, 1862 to March 25, 1931, was a prominent African-American investigative journalist, sociologist, educator, and an early leader in the civil rights movement. Born into slavery in Holly Springs, Mississippi, she became a tireless advocate for racial equality and justice, particularly focusing on the issue of lynching. Here are some key aspects of her life and work. Investigative journalist, Wells bravely investigated and documented the widespread lynching of African Americans in the United States during the late 19th century. Through her articles and pamphlets like Southern Horrors, Lynch Law in All Its Phases, and The Red Record, she meticulously debunked the common justifications for lynching and exposed its brutality and its use as a tool of racial terrorism and economic oppression. Anti-lynching activist Wells traveled extensively, both domestically and internationally, to raise awareness about the horrors of lynching and to advocate for federal legislation against it. Her powerful speeches and writings galvanized public opinion and challenged the prevailing racist narratives. Women's suffragist, recognizing the interconnectedness of racial and gender inequality, Wells was also an active participant in the women's suffrage movement. She fought for the right of African American women to vote, often facing discrimination within the suffrage movement itself. Early civil rights leader, Wells was a co-founder of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, although she later became critical of its early leadership and direction. Her early activism laid the groundwork for the broader civil rights movement of the 20th century. Educator, Wells was committed to education as a means of empowerment for African Americans. She worked as a teacher and believed in the importance of knowledge and self-reliance. Ida B. Wells was a courageous and influential figure who dedicated her life to fighting for justice and equality. Her groundbreaking investigative work on lynching and her unwavering advocacy for civil rights and women's suffrage left an enduring legacy on American society.
So a tragic incident happened in the Otter B. Wells projects in '94. I was in King High School at the time, and Lee Allen, you can look him up. He did a documentary on the boy that was pushed out the window.
The tragic event you're referring to is the death of Eric Morse. Here's a summary of what occurred. The incident. In October 1994, 5-year-old Eric Morse was killed after being dropped from the 14th floor of a building within the Ida B. Wells homes in Chicago. The perpetrators were 2 other boys, aged 10 and 11. The act was reportedly triggered by Eric's refusal to steal candy for them. Key details. The incident occurred in a vacant apartment within one of the high-rise buildings. Eric's older brother, Derek Lemon, attempted to intervene and prevent the tragedy. The event brought widespread attention to the harsh conditions and violence prevalent in the Chicago public housing projects. Aftermath. The 2 boys responsible were convicted of murder. The incident had a profound impact on the community and highlighted the urgent need for addressing issues of youth violence and social conditions in these areas.
So this was my documentary perspective of Ida B. Wells, which she was a hero to us all, and she definitely helped Black people out at that time, man, when it was much needed. I remember my mom would tell me about the L. Rookins that would march in Ida B. Wells and yell out Black Stone Rangers, and everybody would run away, like killing themselves to get up out of there, because that's what they would do. They would come in territories and neighborhoods and recruit. So that's the history of how Chicago worked. This is BTV One. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This was another video. I'm out.